Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. How are you? You all right? I'm okay. We got a rush today. I'm really sorry that this episode is going to seem frantic because I just realized a few minutes ago I won't have time to record tomorrow, and it's kind of late today. So it's Wednesday. So what we're going to do then, the end of the show, we're going to talk Phillies and stuff, but I will not have time. So we have a question for this week. Thank you, Jen, on brand social media posts like, Wendy's and Cinnabon. And, brand's trying to have some fun, I guess, or as one person responded, we'll talk about that when we get to it. The last one we have on the list today of somebody calling it out. So we'll get to that in just a bit. We have, let's see what else we got. We got a little pet peeve of a thing that's happened more than once, which is it's just really weird. I'm going to sound like an old man at the end of the show. I'm aware of that, but I want to mention it anyway. And we're also going to thank Josh in his own special little segment, even though we're both too busy to nail down time for the show as of yet. Josh, I want to have you back sometime soon because it's real fun when you come by. But we're going to thank Josh a little bit later on and talk about, I don't know what else. We should talk hockey for Josh, but again, we don't have a lot of time. All right. And we're also doing underrated. We're ripping off Bill Burr once again. If you have something that you think is overrated or underrated, let me know, and I'll talk about it as best I can. Okay? Sound good? Great. Yes, we got the pop filter back again, so hopefully this sounds okay. If not, I'm sorry, I don't have time to fix it. So, might be. All right, let's go. Let's do the thing. Hope you're well. My back is killing me today. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun. All right? We're going to be great. We'll talk about it, I guess. Maybe. A little bit? A little bit? No. Want to know why the car? A little bit? Little bit, I think, is the actual line. But anyway, that's a reference for one person who's not listening. And that's what's going on today. So hopefully a quicker show, although the answers are kind of long. Thanks a lot, Paul. I'm joking. I love you. Thank you for answering, everyone. Anyway, that's all. We're we got to go. All right. We have a song from our new friends. This is a DIY musician from Toronto, correct? This is from Toronto. Let's check. You know what? We're going to check that. We're going to make sure that we got it right. I believe, yes, DIY musician from Toronto. They got music on Spotify, all the platforms, and the, what is that page called? The DistroKit Hyperfollow. It's like a link tree where they have all the stuff. They got all the music links up there. So I will share that with you in the show notes. But the artist name is Prime Birds, and we're playing. If you like video game stuff, this is right up your alley. If you don't, then, I'm sorry I didn't consult you before I made the choice to play this on the show. It's really fun, though. I really enjoy this. So it's a double single that is out now, The Wimmis Monster. I think I said that right. Yes, I had to ask how to say that because I'm an idiot and I can't read. And 4 stories. So we're going to play the first half, or the first song of this double single from Prime Birds. Again, this is The Wimmis Monster, and this is really fun. It's like if Castlevania or... I was going to say Legacy of the Wizard because I want to play Legacy of the... I want to plug that anytime I can, but I'm not sure if that really fits the bill. We're going to have to listen together and find out. But it's like, if you took that, like if you're in a Castlevania level, but also like in an anime, like, okay, if you're in the Castlevania anime, you'd hear this over some like gaming video, and then when a big fight scene starts and it cuts to an animated, gory battle with probably boobs and blood and stuff, then this is probably what you would hear. Does that make any sense at all? Anyway, I don't know. It sounded good, right? All right. Anyway, Prime Birds, the name of the artist from Toronto. Is this our first Canadian? That's a good question. If it is, then we need to open up that market because Canada's got to love the Melting Pat, right? Do we? Don't you? Do you love me? I love you. I think you're great. All right. Prime Birds, The Wimmis Monster. It's available now. Monster, not Munster. I'm not the TV show. We're not going to get sued. The Wimmis Monster. Prime Birds. It's the Melting Pat. This is real fun. We're coming right back. And there you have it, our new friend, Prime Birds, the Wimmis Monster, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. That was so much fun. It's got a little Pokemon at the end there, a little Pokemon boss battle or Pokemon like exploring and then you hit a battle maybe? No? All right, link to all that will be in the show notes, so go check that out. My thanks to Prime Birds for that. We probably could have gone longer on that, but we would have gone a couple different ways. That would have been really fun. But again, we're short on time. I'm sorry. You know what? That's a teaser. That's a tease. Maybe next time I play some Prime Birds, we'll go longer with the mouth riff. We'll do a 3-minute mouth riff. I don't care. That sounds like fun. No, that would be torturous, probably. But thank you, Prime Birds. There you go. The Wimmis Monster /4 story, the double single. It's available now. The link to go stream it and get it will be in the show notes at themeltingpat.com. There you go with all of that. All right. Today, we're not going to start with a question. We were, but then I decided, let's do this. Underrated. I know I'm ripping off Bill Burr. I don't care. He's not listening. If he does, he probably wouldn't care anyway. So if you have an overrated or underrated thing, something you think is overrated that people love, something you think is underrated, a good thing that you do that nobody really talks about, let me know. Because mine today, underrated, having a doctor who gives a shit. That's a very like old man adult thing that's going to, come back around in the last Pat Peeve of the show here. But I went to the doctor the other day. I had to get some forms filled out, and I had to go get some referrals for some things to get a little snippy snip. I had to figure out what the process is for that. We'll handle that part in the fall, hopefully. And, just get a physical, general wellness. And I had to get some stuff filled out, which I took care of, which is great. I didn't know a thing. He's like, I can make this a permanent thing so you don't have to keep coming back and doing this form every year or whatever. I'm like, I did not know you could do that. I didn't know that was the thing. He's like, yeah, they'll just write it in here and, that's how I do it. I'm like, that's awesome. This sounds great. And it's just like, he answered all my questions. He was like, yeah, we could do this. Oh, you need an orthopedist? Here's the guy that we use, that I go to myself. There you go. He's not far from here. And, for getting your little snippy snip, go see this guy. He'll take your insurance. It'll be good. You have a consult. You'll talk to him and, see if you're a good candidate for it. And I'm like, all right. And I wrote everything down. Like I had to get 2 forms filled out and I had 2 questions for referrals for other things. And I wrote them all down on a little sticky note. And I told the nurse and then, made sure I told the doctor, like, wait, I wrote it down because I'm going to forget. My son's going to be too soon. My brain is mush. I'm going to forget. And if I do that, if I don't talk to you about this, then I'll have to come back and just spend more time. And I don't want to do that. And he's like, okay, great. So he signed all the things and filled out all the stuff and was like, okay, you're good. Here you go. And it was weird. Like he kind of had to rush out to go do other things and see other patients, which is fine. He's a doctor. He's a busy guy. But also like he wasn't mad. Like my previous doctor would like get mad when I had questions or like he would get not mad, but he would get like frustrated, be like, this guy wasted my time. But like that's why you're here. That's why I'm here to see you to get these questions, to get these issues resolved. And this doctor I've had for a few years now, they've been good for the most part. Like if I have a question, they're easy to get a hold of generally. Unless you call late in the day, then it's a crapshoot. But if you call in the morning, they're good, which is great. Cause I'm like, I got to do that. And actually, no, I called them at the end of the day on Monday and had an appointment by Tuesday. So I was like, yeah, sounds great. And like, he was kind of rushing to do other things, but also like wasn't dismissing me, which other doctors have done for various reasons over the years. And it was just great to have, I was listened to. And he also like, he didn't say, that just happens. Or like, you have to do this. He's like, nope, you have a specific question. I have a specific answer for you. Go do this. And then you'll handle the business and do that. I'm like, this is great. Thank you very much. So underrated, having a doctor who cares, who will actually answer your questions. And I realize this was probably coming from a place of privilege, but, I just have to say, like having somebody who you're going there because you have some kind of problem or issue that needs to be resolved. And it's just nice to be able to go into the office with a list of things you have to get done or a list of, questions you need answered, and to come away with it with all of them answered. Like, I have things that I have to do now to follow up, but I don't have to go back there or call and say, hey, what do I do about this? Like, they have given me all the things that I need to do to go handle my business other places to get things that I need taken care of. So it's like I haven't had that in a very long time, and I'm grateful for it. So underrated, having doctors who care. So if you have an overrated or an underrated and you'd like to share it with me, everywhere at The Melting Pat or themeltingpat.com, that's really the best place to get a hold of me. All my stuff is there. You can leave it as a voicemail on the SpeakPipe thing or call the number and do the thing over there. Overrated, underrated, or any other questions or answers or whatever you got, let me know. Okay? All right. Great. That feels good. I feel good now. All right. I mean, a little bragging, nothing about like me, but just kind of I'm fortunate to have that in my life. Someone who finally answers questions because I pay them money. So there you go. Speaking of questions, my thanks to Jen for this, who asked, she sent me a text the other day about a brand that has the best social media posts. Did I have the thing written down here? The best social media teams for brands. Like, has a brand with their posting on social media, have they made you want to go out and buy their product, or at least made their thing memorable? And I was like, well, let's go the other way too. Has a brand making a post made you want to steer clear of things they were doing based on the things they were put? Like, have you ever stopped following or stopped like buying from somewhere because of something they posted? And I don't think if we got a negative one, I missed it. But all right. Anyway, I missed the negative one. There's a coin, probably had to cough. It's fine. I like the Wendy's. Wendy's are funny. Like, it makes me laugh. It doesn't affect whether or not I'm going to eat Wendy's, because I'm probably going to do that anyway, although our local Wendy's is terrible with how slow the service is. But anyway, Cinnabon's funny. And like, look, if you're going to post something, like, I understand the goal of the brand is to make money and push their product, and that's fine. But you might as well try to have some fun with it, right? Right? Wawa's kind of fun too. Yeah, those are the three that popped up to me immediately. So let's see what you said. Jen said, my sister and I still quote the Quiznos commercials from the early 2000s with the deformed rats. Most common phrase is, "They got a pimple bar!" I haven't seen that commercial in so long, I don't remember what the voice is. But I'll try to find it, put it in the show notes. Jen says, I've never had Quiznos in my life. This is pre-social media, so I'm not sure if it counts. But it seemed vital. Well, Jen, you came up with this question. Like, you sent this to me. So I'm going to say whatever answer you gave was going to count, no matter what. So thank you very much. Remind me, I got a Quiznos story that I'm going to tell a little bit later. I'll write it down. You know what? I wrote it down. I'll tell it at the end of the show. I went to Quiznos once in my life, and I will tell you about it. It's a little weird story. Maybe I've told it before. I don't know. But anyway, thank you, Jen. Maggie says, the Little Mermaid live-action movie on Instagram will reply to you via DM as Ursula if you comment on their posts. That's fun as hell, actually. Thank you. I'm going to try that. Not right now, but now I have a note of it, so I can try it tomorrow. That sounds fun. I wonder if she'll make fun of me. If she'll look at my profile picture and go, wow, dude, you're ugly, or whatever however Ursula would phrase that. I'm going to check that out. Thank you, Maggie. Kyle Elliott, thank you, my friend. Wendy's social team has helped shape what other brands' social media has turned into. People were afraid to sound unprofessional until Wendy's just started posting you up on their official pages and calling out other businesses for fun. Yeah, that's true. It was always like, if the brand started to like make a joke on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, people are like, oh, we can't do that. That's unprofessional. And we're going to be like, people aren't going to buy things. I'm like, well, you kind of have to realize who is going to be following like Twitter, Instagram is not going to be a bunch of fuddy-duddies who are going to get mad at a brand for being unprofessional because they shared a joke or a meme on social media. Like it's younger people who are going to be like, oh, it's pretty funny. And like, oh, hey, maybe we should go to Wendy's tonight. Or like, maybe we should go get some Cinnabon on the way home or whatever. If you're going to the airport or something. That's where Cinnabons are, I guess. That's not true. But I just thought it was funny. Like, yeah, Wendy's kind of started just having fun, or like some intern or whoever, some social media kid was just like having fun, and it blew up, and it's been pretty interesting. I would say it's better than like, hey, here's this thing you can buy. Like they're making jokes and making fun of other people, and that's kind of fun for me. But I'm not a square. So there you go. Thank you, Kyle. Paul says, Waxwork Records. They hooked me when they displayed their limited edition Friday the 13th record that had the blood inside the record. Then they released Creepshow and Creepshow 2, and if I hadn't seen their posts on social media, I may not have become a fan and consumer of their products. Just this past weekend, they put up the announcement of the White Zombie soundtrack, the film from 1932, not the band, and it was a no-brainer. I already put in my order. There you go. There you go. See, that's a double because that's fun and memorable, and Paul's like, oh man, now I recognize like this brand is going to be fun and post fun stuff. And also, they are achieving their goal of getting you to spend money on their stuff based on the fun. Like that's the whole goal, right? The whole goal of the business is to get you to spend money on stuff they're selling. And however they do that, if it works, and they're not hurting anybody, I think they're going to be fine. So thank you, Paul. It's a lot of words, man. Kyle and Paul, come on. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. I can't read. You know this. All right. Anyway, Helmspear says, make 7 up yours. Yes, I remember. I bought the shirt in high school. Not me. I didn't. Helmspear did. Yeah, on the front, it said make 7. And on the back, it said up yours. So if you're walking behind that person, their shirt just says up yours. And that's funny. That's really funny. That reminds me, this has nothing to do with social media, but our buddy Leo, I'm going to cut that out. I tried to do the Leo yell. It didn't work. Phil and Joel know what I'm talking about. Carl, too. He had a shirt. It was a Stone Cold shirt, I think. And it said, I don't know what the other side said, but one side of the shirt said, other side, jackass. And I remember he was like walking around the block or something, and he just stood outside somebody's window and like waved. And the mom was looking at the window and just stared at him horrified because he was wearing this shirt that just said in big white letters, other side, jackass. Or maybe he got her attention and like wanted to make her see the shirt. But I just remember him telling us that, like, yeah, she looked at me. She was terrified of the shirt that I was wearing because it said other side, jackass. Nothing to do with social media, but the make 7 up yours reminded me of it. And Leo, if you're out there, I hope you're well. All right. Let's see. Lockjaw had kind of a double answer, but that's fine. He said, I'll agree with the others that I've seen some entertaining Wendy's tweets and memes, but I don't seek them out or follow them, and it really has no effect on my eating Wendy's. And he said, I don't know if this is cheating, but sports teams do great social media that gets you more hooked into the brand, the sport, and the players. Yeah, I'll count that. I think that works because the point is like they're pushing a product. Either way, whether it's a sandwich, a cinnamon roll, or a baseball game or a player. The point is to get you interested in whatever they're trying to sell or present to you, right? Whether it's a thing or a person. And so, yeah, I would kind of sport like, the highlights that you get to share for hockey or baseball or football or whatever. You can go, oh man, did you see what Shohei Ohtani did yesterday? Or like, oh, did you see what whoever, I don't know, who's still in the playoffs? See what the Kraken did the other day? Did you see what the Sixers did the other day? Like, you'll see a little clip and go, oh man, I should watch the Sixers. Like, or I should watch the NHL playoffs, or I should go watch some baseball based on a clip that you get to see that was shared by their social media. Like, hey, check out this thing that happened. And so now you're inclined to go check them out and go watch and hopefully, drop some money, buy a shirt, buy a hat, go see a game, do whatever you want to do. So yeah, I count that. I would count sports. Jen asked this question. Jen, did you count that? Do you count sports teams and leagues promoting their players with clips and stuff? Do you count that? No? All right, Jen, let me know. All right, we might have to strike that from the record because, Jen's the last word on this. All right, final one here. This is funny. Osman says, all brand social media posts are corny as Oh, hey, capitalism kills. Don't blame me. I'm just a social media intern for Steakums. Sorry to have to enlighten you. Bugger off. There you go. That's the whole thing. Some of that was in all caps. I tried to capture the vibe of that one. Hope I did it justice. That is true, though. Because, again, the whole point is to sell you a product or a service. Or like a product or a service. Or I was going to say a person because we talked about sports. But that would fall under product. The sport is the product. So, like, I get it. Like, that's the whole idea. Right? And so, sometimes they can get a little over the top and get a little silly, and some people don't like that. It's, can be dumb or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're trying to make you remember their product when it's time to spend some money, right? So if you're looking for Steakums, you're like, hey, remember that dumb thing they said? That was funny. Hey, we should go buy Steakums. Like the point is, I guess, as long as they're in your head, and you're at the store and go, oh, hey, haha, Steakums, I saw a thing. Like, you're going to maybe want to buy it. Or maybe you just hate everything and you think they're dumb and want them to just, I don't know, be more straightforward. Maybe that's what Osman wants. But, I get it. It makes sense. Some things are kind of corny, and that does kind of work. But also that can kind of work, right? That can kind of work out to where, like, you at least remember the dumb joke or the dumb meme they shared when you're out looking at it and shopping for the product and you see it like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. You can still make that connection and want to buy the product. Or you just say, no, screw them. They suck. They're not funny. I don't like them. Maybe that's it. All right. Anyway, thanks for all your answers. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jen, for letting me know about that one. That's a fun one. That is fun. Vito, I didn't forget your question. Your question. I'm going to try to do that next week when I have some time to actually collect the answers and think of my own. Vito won the Pick'em, the NFL Pick'em, and had a pretty fun idea for his topic he wanted me to talk about. So I did not forget. I'm putting this on here to keep me honest, to write that down and get that rolling for the show. All right, I didn't forget. All right, so thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your answers, for all the things. I appreciate it. This pop filter, I kind of had to move a little bit to just adjusting, as I do. And the edges of the nylon are kind of tickling my nose. That's fun. I'm glad you can't see this. This would be awkward. It's awkward anyway, because I'm telling you about it. So, all right, anyway, to a couple more things, then we're going to go. So I got a new graphics card. Thank you to Josh, because I've been having some issues with my PC, which Josh built for me, if you don't know. And it's been, things are kind of hanging. It's kind of slowing a little bit. And I thought, hey, I should upgrade something. Like, my storage is okay, or maybe not. Or maybe I need somebody smarter than me to sit down and, I don't know, look at what's on here, see what I can get rid of to speed this up. Maybe it's something that I uninstalled but didn't really uninstall. I don't know. If somebody's smarter than me, if you can remote into my PC and tell me exactly what to take out, that would be great. Let me know. And also, I was trying to play a game, and it was crashing at one specific point in the game. So I emailed support and said, hey, what's the deal? It's crashing at this one. Like, everything else in the game plays fine, but it's crashing at this one specific point. And I said, hey, what can we do? Is there an update that I missed? Do I have to go uninstall and reinstall it? What do we got to do? And they were like, hey, can you send me your diagnostics or whatever? So I did. And they're like, hey, your graphics card isn't even at the baseline to run the game. But I'm like, the game does run. So I'm like, okay, fine. So Josh was like, hey, I can send you this graphics card to have as a spare. And I'm like, great. So he walked me through it the other day to install the graphics card, which is a lot easier than I thought. And he did bring this up, that I was too nervous about it, because it was much easier than I thought it would be. Because I opened up my tower, and I'm like, I don't understand what any of this, I know what the graphics card looks like, and I know where the hard drive is and whatnot, but I don't really know how to, with the wires going different places and all that. I didn't really know the specifics of the stuff. So he walked me through it, and everything, it's working. The game is working. It also turned out that the game needed to patch in an update, so it was not my fault. We have talked about this, games that have problems that are released with issues because everybody's just like deadline. And with the internet, you can, I sound like an old man, which I'm about to again in a minute. But, with online availability, you can patch in updates and release unfinished games. We talked about this before. But it just since the beginning of the internet, it's always been, no, blame the other guy. It can't be our fault. It has to be your internet, has to be your PC, has to be your whatever. It can't be our fault. That's basically what they were telling me. And it turned out it was their fault. But the game runs a lot smoother with the new graphics card anyway. And other things run kind of smoother as well. So that's helpful. We're not 100%, we're not perfect, but we are definitely in a better spot than we were a week ago. So thank you, Josh, for that. I appreciate the time and all the, dealing with me being a dope. I guess that's what I really appreciate as well. All right. There you go. There you go. We should highlight some hockey, but it's Wednesday, so by the time you hear this, things will be over. But the Seattle Kraken moved on to the second round They defeated the Avalanche in 7 games. So Josh, his adopted team, has moved on. He's very happy about that. So go whoever you like over there. Go Kraken. That sounds good, right? Yeah, let's do that. All right. Anything else? I will say, this is apropos of nothing except the conversation Josh and I had. I wish I had gotten an Oakland A's headband with the gold A when I had the chance from Junk Brands. They don't do the baseball headbands anymore, and now I wish I would have gotten a green headband with the gold A, because that looks so sick. Damn. Anyway, go Kraken. Unrelated things. Now I'm just talking about things Josh and I discussed. Josh, can we find some time to get you back on the show? I think we should do that, right? Does that sound like fun, everybody? Does anybody out there still? Anybody care? All right, I do, and that's why we're still here. All right. Can we talk about this real quick? Just a little minor pet peeve. I'm not mad about this. I'm more perplexed. So this has happened at least 3 times. We got a fence out front, and I'm sorry if I've told this before, but it happened the other day, and I'm just bewildered by this. So we have a fence around the front yard for the kids so we can run around and be safe and not, roll down the little slope or hurt himself or whatever. Well, if he hurts himself, he did it on our property, not someone else's, so we don't have to worry about that. So he's got all this stuff. He's got this house and a slide and little lawnmower and all kinds of kid stuff, toddler stuff on the front lawn. And it's weird, he loves this stuff. Not the point of the story. So more than once, at least 3 occasions, this kid who lives, I guess, up the block, or maybe it was a different kid each time, or a different kid the second time, I don't know. So Jill has a Ring camera in the front, and she got an alert one time, or 2 times, and I saw one another time, where this kid who's I don't know, 3, 4, just came in and started playing in Arthur's house. So this kid who we do not know, the weirdest part is that he had to open the gate to come in the yard. It's not all the stuff is just out open where anybody can walk up and do it. You have to come into the gate, come up the steps, open the gate, so you're actually in our physical yard. And it was just, if it was just open, it would make a little more sense. Hey, a kid's going to see that, and, kids are dumb generally, right? I'm sorry, all the kids out there who listen, but oh, here's a thing, I'd like to play with that, and they're just going to go do it. If they've not been taught to not touch things that aren't theirs, like certain people who used to live near here, then they're just going to do it, because that's what kids do, because they're just it's one track, hey, there's a fun thing, I want to go play on that. But, and okay, you're not taught that you should be taught that as a kid, right? It's not yours, don't touch it. And if nobody's there to ask if you can touch it, the answer is you can't touch it. And it was just really strange that more than once, a kid opened the gate and went in and started playing with the stuff in our yard. And what are we doing? Well, I know what we're not doing is apparently people around here aren't teaching their kids, or, not learning as adults to not touch stuff that's not theirs, not use something that's not theirs. And it's just completely ridiculous to me that it's happened more than once. And one time, the kid's dad came in and wasn't really urgent about it. Hey, that's not yours. And then ran in to grab him, but wasn't I don't know, afraid of what would happen if he stayed on the thing. Because of that kid, okay. There's a story I read the other day of that's going to be for the patrons next week. It's not going to be this week. I don't think I won't have time. But some guy, some little girl rang this guy's doorbell, and he made a Facebook post about it, and he was completely unhinged about what he was going to do because he was a psycho. And my thing is you don't know that I wasn't going to do that, right? And so. And I'm not trying to threaten anybody, stand up. I am saying, get off my lawn. But I'm not trying to say, I just hit the pop filter. I'm sorry, because I had to scratch my face. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm not trying to threaten anybody. I'm just trying to figure out when we stopped saying, hey, it's not yours, don't touch it. When did that conversation stop happening in households? Because we were taught that as kids. Hey, if you see something hey, it's not yours, that means you can't play with it. And if there's no one around, if the kid isn't around or the mom isn't around or whoever to say, sure, you can play with that thing that my brother has or whatever it is. Like, yeah, sure. If no one's around to have that conversation with you, the answer is no by default because it's not yours. And it's just the fact that this kid opened the gate. These kids, maybe it's more than one kid. I'm not even sure. But that on at least 3 separate occasions, somebody opened the gate to our yard. And like people open the gate all the time, delivery people, sure. People coming to say hi, people coming to try to sell us stuff, sure. But like this little kid just saw the thing that he wanted to play with. And I haven't interviewed the kid to find out what's going on, but I'm just trying to think like very simply, there's a thing I want to play with. I'm going to go play with it. And gave no consideration to, hey, this isn't my yard. It's not my thing. I shouldn't open someone's gate to go in their yard to play with a thing when I don't know them, right? It's just like, I don't know. I just, and again, I'm not going to do this, but there have been too many stories of people, let's see, how are we going to phrase this? Of homeowners reacting in an over-the-top negative way. How about that? To people just like walking onto their stuff, right? Like never mind. Yeah, like I'm not going to do that, but the kid doesn't know that. And the kid's dad doesn't know that I'm not some unhinged psycho who is going to freak out and throw stuff or worse to this kid because he's coming into my yard. The worst I'm going to do is if I catch him, say, hey, that's not yours. Don't play with it, please. And then come on here and tell you about it. That's the worst I'm going to do. I'm not going to take this to a different level because there's no need for that. I'd say, hey, don't touch that. It's not yours. Hey, I don't know you. Why are you in that's my purse. I don't know you. Right? It's just like, I don't know. When did we stop doing that? When did we stop saying, hey, that's not yours. Don't touch it? Because I think anybody who's got kids, I mean, I was pretty much one of the last of my friends to have kids. So, everyone who is hearing this doesn't need this advice. But if you do, or if you have nieces or nephews or whatever, just let them know. If it's not yours, don't touch it. If it's behind a gate and you don't know the person, if you're not all right, here it is. If it's not yours, don't touch it. If it's behind a gate or a doorway or some other obstruction and you're not invited, don't go in. That's all. And I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but you don't know. There are a lot of weirdos and psychos out there who are going to take much more drastic steps than I would ever if you do that. So, piece of advice, stay off my lawn. And, stay off everybody's lawn. But specifically, stay off my lawn. Unless you're coming to cut the grass. All right, there we go. We couldn't end on being all mad, right? We had to throw a joke in there. But yes, stay off my lawn, god damn it. All right, there we go. Jesus. I just hit another wire. Sorry, I keep hitting stuff. All right, we got to go. One more thing. Quiznos. We wrote that down. Okay, so Jen talked about Quiznos. And I want to tell you before we go, so we don't end on a mad pat peeve. Because I don't want to do that unless the show is all pat peeves. We're not doing that. So I went to one Quiznos in my life. Jill and I went. We were downtown to see something. Maybe we went to the Kimmel Center to see the orchestra because I went for a class. We saw Tchaikovsky play. Obviously Tchaikovsky's long dead, but we saw the orchestra perform a Tchaikovsky piece from the Nutcracker or from something. I forget. I remember it was really good, but I had to take a lot of notes, so I couldn't really immerse myself in it, but I remember enjoying it. Anyway, there you go. There's my plug for Kimmel Center. Go see the Tchaikovsky performance when it comes back around in November or December. So we were downtown, and we're like, hey, and maybe I'm thinking of a different time. But anyway, the point is Tchaikovsky pieces are great, and for this story, we were downtown. So we're walking around, we're like, hey, where are we going to go eat? We didn't have a ton of money, so like going to a fancy place was out of the question. This was like 2008 or 9 or 10. And so we're like, hey, Quiznos, sandwiches, hoagies, that sounds good. Let's go over there. So we're walking over there, or maybe we had just come back. I remember enjoying the Quiznos food, by the way, but not the point of the story. Quiznos is involved, but it's not the point. So we're walking back either to or from Quiznos, and this man stops us. And it's winter. It's nighttime. It's dark. We're trying to get back to the train. And this man stops us. And he says, "Excuse me, folks. Can you help me? I need some help. My name is Teddy Bear. I need $11.37. I got to take Amtrak. I'm just trying to get home to wherever he was getting home to. I'm a little short. I need $11.37. And I said, "Oh man, sorry, I don't have anything. I just spent my money on dinner and the thing I went to. So sorry, buddy, I can't help you." And he looked sad and he walked away. And I looked at Jill when he was out of earshot and I said, "Did that grown man just tell us his name is Teddy Bear?" And she said, "Yes, he did. And he wanted a specific amount," which, if you don't know, if you're not a city person or if you don't see this very often, when someone asks you for a very specific amount of money, it is generally, it could be for the train, but generally, that's a red flag. There you go. I thought I had an example of what it would be in my head when I started this story or when I started the show. And I was like, man, I should have written that down because I'm going to forget. And now that I'm at the end of the show telling the story, I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, it's weird when people ask you for money in general, but also it's weird when they ask you for a very specific amount of money because they're trying to get somewhere to do something. Like, no, you're not. What a grown man told me his name was Teddy Bear, said he needed $11.37 or whatever it was. Anyway, the Quiznos was good from what I remember, and that's how that connects to the earlier story. So there we go. We're good. We're good to go. Just in time. We got to get out of here. All right. My thanks. Does this show make any sense? I don't know. Jen, thanks for the question, suggestion. Everyone, thanks for your answers. And, go to Quiznos, I guess, and maybe you'll run into Teddy Bear, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll be, I don't know what he would be. Maybe he's not there. I hope he's found his way home, because it's been like 14 years since then. So, good luck out there, and stay off my lawn. All right, my thanks to Prime Birds for the song. The link to all that will be in the show notes. The Wemyss Monster and 4-story double single available now. So that'll be in the show notes at themeltingpat.com. Man, that was so good. All right, we're out of here. Go whoever you like with the sports. Go whatever you're doing. Go have fun. Don't be an idiot. And I love you. All right? Is that good? Great. G-Love and Special Sauce with cold beverage. They'll play us out as they always do. Philadelphonic.com for more from them. And that, my friends, is it. We're good, right? Yes, wonderful. This has been an 8 Boylan production. So until next time, have fun, be safe, thank a veteran, wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. That's all, right? We're good? Great. Bye. Thanks. Sorry I was so rushed, but we made it out. I love you too. All right. See ya. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Go crap open a cold one.